Morning, welcome to my improvised garage here. Time for a bit of winter maintenance checks today. It's coming towards the end of November. It's incredibly mild here today. It's the 19th of November and it's like a spring day out there, but it is quite windy. But anyway, it's not going to stay like that for long in Scotland. We'll have the bad weather coming, we'll have the cold, and we'll have the rain and the wet and everything else. So I'm just going to do a few basic maintenance checks today. Air filters, I might have a look at the variator, take that off just to see what condition it's in, make sure it's all clean and shiny. There's a few wee touch-up paint jobs I need to do. I'm also thinking of painting the underbelly on the bike, which I might look at doing today as well, seeing as it's a good enough day for it. And that's it basically. I mean, I'll give it a proper wash down after all that, and then I'll do the tyres and things as well, and just make sure we're as ready as we can be to go for the winter. MOT time is coming up for the Zoomer. It's early January, it will be due to MOT, so we've got to think about that as well, and fingers crossed it's not the nightmare it was this last year. So let's crack on and see if we can tidy the wee bike up a bit. So, air filter, as you can see, nothing really wrong with that. One or two little oily marks, but apart from that, it's absolutely clean. So, the air filter is good to go back on. This is all clean as well, nothing in there. So that's part one done. This is all, as you can see, nice and clean. No problems there. Okay, so I don't think you need me to see me taking out all the bolts, so let's have a look and see what's happening inside here. And again, nice and clean. A little bit of belt dust on the hole. Pretty good, quite a bit on the NC wide drive face, so we might just take that off and just check how the variator is doing in there. So for that we'll need the impact wrench. Okay, impact sockets. Oh, right, first time, that's not bad. Right, take the battery out here. Off it comes nice and easily. Bolt first. Washer, kickstart, and then we'll just carefully ease this off. Off we go. The rear's looking okay, slight marking maybe, but nothing much, just needs a wee clean up on the front. Take the belt. Can we get it out without spilling them everywhere? Maybe not. Right. So as you can see, pretty clean. Now this has been in, it's been a year since I last cleaned this out. Now obviously I don't do high mileage or anything, but looks pretty good. So we'll take these out, we'll give them all a wee clean up, and then we'll put it back in again. So the variator is looking pretty good. Very little bit of belt dust. The belt looks in good condition. There's no obvious cracks or splits there. So all in all, good news. We've just got a microfiber cloth here. Let's tip these out. We're just going to make sure the runways on the, as you can see, there's a bit of dirt coming off them, but it's amazing. More than it looks actually, so maybe just as well we did this. It's a question of giving them a good clean out, because it'll all help the rollers, the sliders rather, run more smoothly. And that's what we want at the end of the day. Okay, let's get the drive face a wee polish. That's that. And the sliders themselves, as you can see, good condition, just a bit dirty, so again, just a little wipe with the cloth, clean them up a bit. You're not supposed to put oil or grease or WD-40 or anything else inside the variator. You're just supposed to leave it as it is. Again, you see, a bit black, but they clean up nicely. I've just got to remember to put them in the right way around now. Get off all the gunk we can. You can see where it's on the ramp there. But these are in perfectly good condition, so I don't think there's any need to invest in any new ones or anything. Sliders tend to, I think, last longer than. Okay, that's quite black, that one. But not anymore. What's that? 3.5. That one there. And last one, again, bits of dirt on it, but easily go off. Right. I'll just give the NCY drive face a little polish up. The back of the variator. Okay, and that's all pretty good to get fitted back in. Nice and clean and shiny, that'll do for another few months. So while we've got everything off, I thought I might as well just take the clutch bell off. Just have a look at that as well. Again, nice and shiny. Clutch shoes there. Maybe do a little sand up with a very light sandpaper on them just to get rid of that marking. But on the whole, pretty good, as you would expect from a bike that doesn't really do a lot of heavy mileage like I do. I'm just going to see if I've got a bit of sandpaper down with me. I can do that. Yep, just a bit of fine sandpaper here, and we're just going to, just very lightly, just buff up those clutch shoes. It just adds a little bit to the takeoff and everything. Right, and again, just maybe around the inside of the clutch belt, just very lightly. It doesn't have to be anything major. It just gets rid of any surface muck. And just again adds a little bit extra grip. Clean out. and that's ready to go back on. So one thing I always make sure I do when I'm tightening back up, especially the variator, is tighten it up as much as you can by hand first or with a handheld tool. Now I know people, you should have straps on it and torque wrenches and things. I don't honestly use that, but I don't just immediately start blasting away with the impact gun, because if you've got it lined up wrong or you've not got it on right and you damage the splines behind here, you're in a world of pain, because that's an engine rebuild. So I always just tighten it up by hand first to make quite sure it's on. And everything, as you can see, is running nice and smoothly. There's plenty of bolt coming through there, so I know that's on right. Kickstarter's on. And then once you've done that, there's no harm, I don't think, in just giving it a couple of, well, as if you've got the right fitting on it, of course, a couple of blasts with the impact gun. It does make, it's probably a purist's nightmare, but and there we are. And the same again for the clutch. I've tightened it up by hand anyway, so it's not as important, the clutch. It's quite important you can get this on the end of the gun, though. I'm putting it on the wrong way, no, no. Get one, that's it, right. And again, just a couple of rake on. And that should be good for another while. Excellent. Now on to the next stage. So that's the variator cover back on. And what I'm just going to do now is just go around the whole bike and check all the nuts and bolts, make sure everything is tight and secure. I mean, this is not a Chinese bike that's likely to sort of shake itself to bits or anything, but it doesn't do any harm to be sure. I'm going over cobbled roads, I'm going over rough roads, so we're going to go around and check all the bolts, wherever they may be, and just make sure everything's nice and snug. I don't think you need to watch me doing that, but that is the next stage anyway. So the next things I want to do are really just cosmetic. As you can see down here, this is scraped on the wheel hub. This is just where I put the disc lock through, so that's why that's scraped. So I want to give that a wee touch up with paint. I want to paint this bit here, the metal underbelly, just the bits that are visible, with some silver hammerite, because that looks a bit grotty, it's a bit dirty. It'll also help protect it as well. So I'm going to paint that. And at the back here, we've just got a couple of little chips on the back of the seat rest which need painted up as well. And I'll have a look round, see if there's anything else I can spot. But on the whole, it's in pretty good condition. But before I do any of that, really, I'm going to have to give the whole thing a clean down, because the poor wee bike's not been cleaned in a few weeks, because the weather's not been that great for doing it outside. But it's a nice day today, so I'm going to get the water down, the sponges, and I'm going to give it a good clean up, and then we'll come back and have a look at the painting, maybe either in this video or another one. Let's get the worst of the muck off it, and then we can look at doing the repainting. Just a warm water, a bit of washing up liquid on it. The floorboard gets dirty very easily. I want to get this silver bit under here, because this is the bit I want to paint, so that nice and clean. Shiny new shocks, keeping them looking good. They replaced the stock ones a while ago. Wheels are good clean.
hub bit round here which I want to paint. Battery box. It's a bit fiddly getting in between the lights here. Just a rough going over, nothing too fancy. Doesn't need to be anything spectacular. Just enough to look after it. I just think you look after them, they'll look after you. That's the theory anyway. Really a lot you can clean, but get the bits we can done. Seat a wipe, backrest, battery box. Right, drying cloth. Okay, so I'm just going to start painting this with the Hammerite metal paint. I mean, that's it before and that's it after, so I think it brightens it up. Make sure not to cover the all important information. I've also painted up the hub again, so that's done. And the scratches that were on the back of the seat frame. So we're getting there. So I'm just going to finish painting this just roughly around here. It doesn't have to be perfect, so it looks a bit brighter. Right, so that's the first coat on. Give it another coat obviously when that dries. I think it looks alright. Just tidies it up a bit. Okay, so that's it for today I think, guys. I've got the tyres to check and things like that, but we'll do that when I'm back, before I go back to work next week. So as always, thanks for watching. Hope you found something of interest, and see you again soon. Cheers now.